come back.
Oh,
What?
Frank West.
Yeah.
I
Anyway,
miss him.
yeah. As for Devil May Cry, they still use. Now this is weird because the implication I got from the first Project Cross Zone, because they used DMC1 Dante there, right? The implication I got was that it was either at or near the end of DMC1 in terms of that. But the plot of Dante in this game has him dealing with Michelangelo, which puts it at the midpoint of DMC1. So does that mean that in the first game, Dante came from the beginning of DMC1, but somehow had all the fucking DMC1 weaponry? What? Whatever, I guess. Fucking.
Maybe uh he got transported in the first game right when he was like fighting the guy or whatever, and then like at the end he went back to where he was, but then Cross Dude happened right after, and he just got keep getting pulled in and out of places at like roughly the same time.
Maybe? I don't know. But but then here's the kicker, and they actually do play this for dramatic irony. Virgil comes from obviously Devil May Cry 3 because he kind of can't come from anywhere else. Uh, and for and again, I'm sorry if you didn't already know this because it's years late. A spoiler: Angelo is Virgil. So the story literally involves Virgil killing his future self. So
Makes you wonder.
yeah. So let's see. Meanwhile, X and Zero. Now in Cross Zone 1, they came from X4, which is fine. In Cross Zone 2, they come from the middle of X5, which is fine. The problem comes in the fact that Zero has two weapons from the future somehow.
It's because he's the best character.
I guess so. And also, speaking of those two, I love that they established that in this game, X kept the head part of X2, the foot part of X4, and the buster of X3. And I'm just gonna assume the torso part of X1 just because.
Yeah.
So, like, because he like offhandedly mentions all this shit at various points, and I'm like, that's the weirdest armor customization. But if I could do it in the games, I totally would.
Right.
Uh, Meanwhile, Chris and Jill still come from, uh, I believe it's Resident Evil 5. I could be wrong about that, but meanwhile, Leon is Resident Evil 6, and they do make a point about that. Uh, for Phoenix Wright and Maya, they don't give a specific time frame at all. So it could be from literally anywhere in the timeline, which, you know what, I'm fine with that, whatever. Uh, Captain Commando is just kind of from his games. Uh, Strider comes from after Strider 2. Uh, Star Gladiator. Okay, so June from Star Gladiator, she comes from Star Gladiator 2. Uh, and Star Gladiator 2 having the plotline of Hayato, the main character, being possessed by something and having an evil side called Black Hayato. Sadly, when you end up beating Black Hayato, the normal Hayato doesn't join you.
Oh, that would have been so
Yeah,
cool.
that would have been awesome, but not a thing. So, Kite comes from the end of his series. Haseo comes from, I believe, the middle of GU, if I'm remembering its progression correctly. By the way, they kept very true to Haseo's character in this game, which reminded me of why I hate him so much. But
You know what's really irritating about it?
what?
I mean, yeah, he is a complete asshat, but then in like like 1 out of 5 skits on average,
Mm,
he's acting like totally normal for no reason.
yeah,
I'd take totally normal Haseo, even if he's still edgy as fuck.
right.
He's just kind of there, really.
When it comes to the God Eater people, they all come from God Eater 2. which, by the way, it should be renamed to Boob Eater because that's all the cast is.
Except even that's just, it's cheap fan service.
Yeah.
Alyssa needs to button her shirt more.
Yeah, she does. And the thing is, I
Hmm.
can kind of tolerate her, if only because she's a cast veteran and she doesn't really do much.
Yeah.
I don't like the new 2 additions. What's her face is bland as fuck, and the other is retarded. Here, have a soup-filled sandwich that's already soggy.
Yep.
And that is her only thing.
Yep.
I don't give a shit.
uh,
Jesus Christ, Akira has more character, and I remember what he was like in Cross Zone 1. I am counting that.
yeah. That said, speaking of Akira, the writing style of Cross Zone 2 actually helps him out a lot because in the first Cross Zone, okay, yeah, he's the Ryu of Virtua Fighter, that's true. But Cross Zone 1 made him very bland, even for that. Whereas
And I don't.
whereas in Cross Zone
I,
2, he's got a bit more levity to him, thankfully.
yeah, and I don't even remember how he was in the first game, so
Yeah.
that should give a pretty strong indication.
Hmm. Sadly, no SRW reps in this game, by the way. Missed opportunity.
You know, they totally should have done
Hmm.
Justice Fight.
No, they couldn't do that. That's an anime.
They can do Justice Fight.
No, they.
Justice Fight is that powerful.
No, I got it, Ryan. Okay. They
Yeah.
get the Koei Tecmo as a cameo in here, right? And
Yeah.
they put Liu Bei and Yukimura Sanada on a team, and then their theme is Justice Fight.
That'd be cool.
Justice Fight.
I imagine they'd probably reference Warriors of Road